Hello, guys. Once again, I'm sorry to get this soon. Today we're gonna be start doing a review of one of my punches. Let's get started. Hello, my name is Shamar. You guys got probably know. I am Shamer Wise. They call me Shamar Wise. They call me Shamer. Also, I voice as who play voice as Mason Trumer, who is Dino Fury Green Ranger from 1967, from Power Rangers Super Legend and the Legend of 5, and also the Legend of Mason Trumer of Return of Zion. So yeah, today we're gonna be start doing it. Once again, I want to introduce those in a minute. I think I did a tutorial, but today we're gonna be starting doing a review of one of my first projects of all time. You guys probably love it. I encourage you to watch it. So yeah, you know, Power Rangers Super Legend, the Legend of 5, and the Legend of Mason Trumer. Return of Designers. We're going to start doing a review on that of my first pre-production of Mighty Heroes Entertainment. Really my first time doing that. Reason why, because, I am inspired by doing that, but a bit better. It's all created by me. The music, I will tell you guys about this music. I'm still working on the script, so you guys can. I will have to start doing a post in a minute somehow. So it will be coming in pretty surgeries, and then after that, my lesson. I have to wait in it somehow. So yeah, let me introduce once again. I did it first time earlier. You guys probably know, as me, Shamer, who plays voice as Mason Trimmer, Dino Fury Green Ranger, once again. And I did the voice too, not only for my character, I did the voice too since we didn't have nobody to do the voice and I'm trying to find somebody, certain people in there. It's, so I technically did all the voice myself. The previous one, part 1, I did voice on the villain. And then I did voice on all the villains too, of the characters. And if you guys don't know what it is, let me explain for you with this audience. So it's a multiverse, a same version of Rangers from the past. And you guys probably watched my podcast for the years, and I've been explaining to you that I've been planning for the past 3 to 4 years. Like I said, I was originally going to be, I never thought about this, get a touch with them. And then we was going to, come in an idea for this of that. But you know how it is. So yeah. Power Rangers Super Legend, the Legend of 5. Oh yeah, next year will be the 20 years anniversary. I remember this game. If it does happen, we sure know. Yeah, sorry about that. But you guys know that we all guys are fans of that you want me to aspire that I aspire by that. So this project is from Multiverse, like I said. Same version of Rangers from the past, and the reason why it's that because I want to inspire from season researcher. The music it's not it takes some elements from MPR, but it's all fully 100% original. Um, yeah, but we will get that story how I started. But first, I want to explain what it's about before we get to the details of the story. So yeah, I'm gonna have to redo it from this too. So yeah, today, oh, there you go. So, had to make sure I got it right, Mary. I had to make sure I got this on way. Anyways, what I was saying, multiverse of 1960s. The Ranger from 1960s. This is way before. This is way before Jason. This is 2060, way before Jason, Zach, Billy, Trini, Kimberly, and Tommy. I mean, these are the legendary Rangers of them that they never know from the past. That Jason, that Zorno, and Alpha never talks about. They have Rangers like them. If you guys don't know any of that Zordon never tells, or Alpha 3, Alpha never explains them. I mean, it almost reminded them. I mean, they already have been Rangers before them, especially with Time Force and SPD. They already been assist because they came from the same galaxy planet, and you fight for the Force. This is before they came over there to this world and invented it. To this world, this planet, Earth, and invented it. Wes is not the only one. He's not the first one. They were actually came in here. They also invented it way before Defeat the Time Rangers too. So did SPD, but they're also a Space Patrol Police Force. Galaxy Police Force, SPD, Space Patrol Delta, also Police Force. Against criminals, monsters who's trying to defeat the world. The same as SPD, elements of that, but invincible. It does make any sense. Yeah, these are some characters that I literally come up with this. The classic characters from who inspired by them, who was real veteran Rangers way before the modern one, and that means the 90s, 1993, 26, way before that. Of these Rangers who was a veteran Rangers. They served as a Power Rangers for over the decades. Since 30s. And then we had a Ranger who became a Ranger. Not only that, we had Wild West, first Ranger in the Earth, then the second one, third one, fourth one. It's like Mr. Force and Dino Fury. It's as if from the Middle Ages. I guess we need to talk about that too. For the Middle Ages. And a guy and a lesson who actually create the Master Morphers of Eternal Force Rangers. Now, if you don't know what Eternal Rangers, it's inspired by Aqua Red, who's also that I watched when I was a kid, from Bulkita versus Super Sentai. I didn't believe one of my friends, but they gave me an idea. Now I do know why, because, realize it because he's the weak wing. So we want to make this hero as a spirit rangers who is also became also the strongest ranger and legend ranger of all times, who appears there first before his team, not only for him, but they could wait the pass for destiny for the Rangers who chosen became heroes. Not only that, they want to store their power source, and that is the enemy of Empires. And you guys probably know. If you guys don't even know, it's actually the darkness of powers just trying to take away something like that ailment gems, like kind of like Dino Charge and Dino Thunder, for example. But Dino Fury didn't have these turns. Is that Zato, Amelia, and Ion? Three of them had powers, but in the 60s, 1960s, when they was chosen by these kids, well, actually, it was in the late 50s through the 60s because they trained harder and harder and harder. And it was chosen by 6 heroes who has powers, element powers, and I want to say this, it used to be all of them together, but certainly they all got split up, and there's only 6 or 7. So they had different powers that we can use to our abilities, to such and such to use our powers and keep them from the enemies. Because if we do that, then it get into the hands of the enemy of the boss of Empires. And the enemy you guys don't know that I called her from a while back. It was supposed to be a different name. I forgot what it is. But I renamed it Iron Block and created with darkness, strongest parts. He's more like strongest. He's stronger as Iron. He's stronger as Warset. He's strong as Warset. Both of them had a connection. And then fight for them from a while back. They didn't know because back in the day, they this is not the only one. The Rangers felt the same way with Ward Singh when they first met him. And Zorna and Telder explaining about that too. That is the reason why, it would take you guys back. How he became a warrior, how they explain you for this, because in Mighty Morphin he never explains. But in Super Legend, it's going to explain you how he became one, if it does make sense. That is the reason why the first kids of us, when we were kids at characters, like as kids back in the late 50s, in the late 50s, I'll say 1958. 1958. I know it sounds pretty crazy, and yeah, I want to inspire by that for certain stuff like Happy Days and my 3 sons and all of them, because I want to stuck to my hand. Dick Van Dyke, because I've been watching to it so many times. I want to get this stuff on my hand, inspired by that. Virtually, it's supposed to be a sitcom. I didn't know it at the time. I didn't think about this at first to be dark. Now I realize why I didn't want it dark because of the violence. It does make sense. They want level us on the violence in serious moments. When I work in the Green Hornet from 1966, we want to put some elements and you want to put into stuff into it. That's why, I want to try the best I could, for the audience too, to get the audience. And martial arts, yes. I know you guys actually want martial arts. That is the reason why, if you watch the second part of Zack, the Return of Zion, that is the reason why that it almost reminds you of Forever Red. And the fight scenes is actually longer than, you know, any of these signs, especially, it is even better than Legendary, and it's actually better than Legendary Battle, by the way. Because a while back, when my friends and I in the podcast, been winking about this, had an issue with that, I decided to do differently, but make it longer, in a right way. Take some elements to it from Forever Red, but mix with it for inspired by it, inspired by that, and then mix with it for the Onion series, for the Mighty Heroes Entertainment of the first book, audio ones. That is the reason why, I love to collect stuff. I love to collect anything, I like to inspire stuff. That is the reason why, for those of you fans love seeing that, because I know we had this kind of issue with friends I ain't talking to. That's the reason why. So yeah, that's why That's why I inspire about it. That's what it's all about, and that's how it's all started. 26 years before Mighty Morphin, we had an old generation version of Mighty Morphin, of 4 boys and 1 girl. Now, originally, we was supposed to have a Green Ranger. I was daughtered by it, but when I look into it and see some research of that, like 3 years ago, and I find out about that, I plan on doing it, but when I look into the Boom comments to it, I had to scrap this up, so, yeah, can't add it to it. I mean, we wanted to, because people, I really wanted to, but didn't happen yet, so decided to, look into it and scrap it up, because of Boom stories with, how it came for 1,000 years ago. I want to take some elements, use it for the flashback on there. So yeah, that's what he's like. If you guys probably know. So yeah, that is the reason why it's going to be an origin scene way before that, and it's going to be inspired by this. But in the movie, if it does happen, we might take some elements and turn into and dot into it or originally, But it will take some Sentai a little bit, like RPM and Once and Always, for an example, and live action. I mean, they did exactly the same day, but hit the fans too. Mighty Morphin has always been a GOAT when it comes to the franchise. So that's like, added 2 Rangers, get, and this is way before Jason. And then there was a guy, the character who was inspired by Jason, who was actually a legend. His name is Astel. Yeah, he is one of the legend, the first man on the moon. And this one, I'm going to start doing script on the audio series of that too. In the future, it's kind of going to be better than this. So that's the reason why. I want to inspire by that. I mean, that I should have done this like 3 years ago, but never thought about this. The reason why I want to do this because 3 years ago I tried so hard, and 3 years later, I mean, we got there. But 3 years ago, I wanted to have a live action, do it on fastback, get the company like them, and I was very, very excited for this. I wanted so much harder to get really tussle in this company. I tried to email the director of Power Rangers for that. I guess people were busy filming at the time. I was trying to get really touch of them as possible. That's how it is. Simon Bennett. So, yeah, so the details you guys probably know what it's all about. Um, we was all training. It was back in the 60s. Scott's father, if you guys don't know, Scott's father was a Green Ranger. He's more like Blade, switching colors to red. No, green. And then Billy still had his more saying there, Mark, and I guess um, his older brother, Harold Mason, older brother, Harry. And he got a few brothers too. Few brothers too. And you guys probably don't know, that is Scott's father from RPM. You guys probably knew from RPM because veteran. I was originally supposed to be wanted to do that for last year, but it didn't happening. But recently, and by the way, happy Father's Day to everybody. But we're talking about the history of how it's all beginning from back then, from Big Bang days, to how we are today. A timeline of the Rangers of Death. To have the abilities to use these type of powers, the chosen for them became Rangers to keep the legacy alive against the villains of evil. For justice. We always want to do it for the fans, keep it entertaining yet. We wanted to make sure we keep this legacy. We're not trying to do like political, like Hollywood did. We want to keep it. We want to keep it go. Entertain and make sure the character model is right. Make sure I don't as possible. I work to it, so that's the reason why. But continue on that. And so yeah, continue off that to you guys probably know. We was all training for the part one. We was all training outside for the target. Me, it was me as Mason Trimmer, young Mason Trimmer, Daniel Furry Green. Like I said, he was inspired by also a few other characters too. Tommy, Ethan, Billy, and Blitz. I guess Wiry from Dino Charge. He's the main reason why, he's the main one. But he was inspired by. But he didn't actually the same as Bridge, but he actually he was green first, having the abilities to morph any Rangers, and then a year later in 1969, he was blue. I'd say still kind of red, but passed it to them, but still red. while his older brother was having a career to become a Red Ranger. Still, then he was blue between Dino Thunder, Jungle Fury, that has the ability powers, and RPM. And then 2 years later on, he came after he graduated. His dad, he earned it for his went to the B Squad. It wasn't Eagle Squad. He didn't go to the Eagle Squad back in the earlier 70s until mid 70s because he was a Wachino lead from Beast Morphers. He was the original all-time favorite that Devon from Beast Morphers. Before it was the future, before it was a visor feature that you can see on the net, it was the animal style that I'm taking some elements to it. It was called, and before it was Good Battle Force back in Force, it was Animal Beast Battle Force. It was Animal Beast Battle Force back in the day. Before it was became the Battle Force and they upgraded stuff now, that's the reason why. Before that, it was Animal Beast Battle Force back in the day. 50s and 70s or 80s, something like that. 50s, 80s, and then or 90s. 50 to 90s. I'm gonna say this in the most. 1950s through I believe 90s. I'm not gonna sure yet. So yeah. I know it's gonna confuse them, but it's the time difference between them, the Verse and the Rangers. And that's the reason why. If you guys probably know what I mean. Like I said, before Beast Morpher was a good battle force and the upgrading of the Vision, the virus. Before it was a virus, it wasn't in there that time. Like RPM. Before his Corvette, before his everything, Mason Dad was actually born in there in the military. But Scott doesn't know his dad's secret. He doesn't know his dad really secret because, like I said, you guys gonna find out about that sooner or later. For I'm going to start putting it all together. But I will say it will be 2 to 3 Rangers of his team will go to the past and find him. That's all I'm going to say, and I'm going to work in that. But Scott, like I said, Scott doesn't know he was a Ranger. I mean, he is a Ranger, but he wants to know that he was like a legend. He didn't tell his diary secret because I know they're gonna probably make fun of him, just like his uncle. His uncle Harry does, just like tease him very much. But it's too bad that the grandparents didn't get to see them, but their spirit will. But you guys will find out about this in the future, sooner or later, when this project will get really fun. So that's the reason why for that one. We was all training for that, but back to it when you sing, you guys want to know for asking me that to it. We was all training as characters for part 1 in 1967. Korea wasn't even exist yet, but it used to be a better place. It was more violent. It was a nice neighborhood, a nice city. It was all classic cars too. People dressed different back then. There was no phone. I mean, we had landlines that they quitted from there that we could teleport to or anything. Hotline was called by this too. Back in the day, they used to make commercials, but it's pretty cool. So yeah, yeah, it was different. It was really there was no virus back then. Way before RPM, and that's why he has a wife by these two boys, Marcus and Scott. Scott, my mind of him when he was younger, but Mason is actually the favorite of the family. He has Scott doesn't know he has an uncle, but his grandfather Albert was the colonel and also commandant. Again, it wasn't Coronel at the time. It was a different city. They were born different state back then. So yeah. Now is current, and then going back to Noble. I almost remind of him when he was younger, back in his old days, before he became a Red Ranger. And yeah. So the details of that why was that we were training. We was on training. We was on training. Okay. Also one of our members on Discord. Yeah, if you guys want to join in on Discord, please do. I will put the link over there so you guys can go in there and join us at Money Heroes and the fan club at Money Heroes Fan Club too. I'm a member of the fan. And also, if you guys want to see one of my friends from New Zealand, ABO, Jacob, and everybody else, including Kyrios and the rest of the team, I'm also part of that too. Please go and join us or let me know about this. So because it's gonna be some rules over there to his student, so I will talk to him about it too. Get some new people around here. So yeah, I had to talk to my friend about this man. So anyways, Betsy, we went over there. Um, yes, we was on train. So yes, we was on training. After that, we got a contract in LA. Zordon, they calling all Rangers together. Alpha was calling all Rangers together to have this meeting about what's going on to give us really sucking news. And Zordon was explaining it to us until it gave us a bad news. And Zion is back after 9 years as defeated. Back in the day, late 50s, he was just 9 years ago. They killed him, but certainly, somehow Iron Blood and his few helpers, that the Block or anybody else, will find him and to bring him up alive and became more powerful and became more powerful than ever, and we was all sucking. So he was trying to have that plan on, and he's also creating his own villains, and yeah, he was creating all his own villains, and he had his power staff of Thunder, Dark, and it also an energy source too, a dark energy source with these blue fortress crystals that he's had in his hand. And they all planted on this machine, a device and machine, a big giant machine that one of his staff, and he was creating that to terrorize the whole dimension. So we came over there to stop him as possible we could, to find a way to stop him before he terrorized the world. Not only that, we all spread up the groups, so we came over there to stop him while the rest of the Rangers came over there to stop the villains. We came here to fight the Shadow, one of his armies that he created called the Shadow Phantoms, and we came to fight him as possible as could. And then after that, we came here to stop him, but he was too strong. I think he got this powerful mode, and he became more stronger than ever. We tried to stop him. We tried to stop him, and then after that, we was going to have a plan how to save this world, but eventually he terrorized his worlds and certainly, and we was over there trying to fight us. And after that, we couldn't take him down. We tried to beat him down as possible we could before he's trying to whack the world. And he's trying to, and he's literally beat us down but Dad's trying to beat him as possible he could. Mason's dad trying to fight him as possible. He's trying to hang in there as tough. But he's hanging in there. He's not giving up. I mean, we didn't give it as Rangers back in the 60s as characters. Him and his team. Mark. And then we had it. So we all come into Sweatery. He uses power that we never come in this before. After that, we blast him because back in the because they really destroyed him back in the day, and it worked back then at the time. But now, in 1967, that it didn't work for them. I used to destroy him, but I don't know how he managed to come strong. I guess I am bugging a lot of them. We were so curious and trying to figure out how he became so strong and it beat us up. As carriers. The Rangers couldn't find out as we did trying to figure out how. And that is the reason why we had to, and that is the reason why He just wanted to use his powers to his fire, storm power to sway us, knock us down. And he used his staff to raise us up and summon up the teleporter windstorm, brought us away. And we was trying to run for it, but certainly he was also teleport us. And when we do, we couldn't contact, and when we into this world, in this world, we couldn't even contact our we couldn't even contact our allies. We couldn't contact Zordon, Alpha, and one of our allies from the other base too. Mark's trying to contact them, and it was jammed. Like, we could contact these other, but we can't contact us. So we was on in this world, and we was confused. What world are we in? So we thought we came. We thought we became going to be dead, but certainly we also came alive finally. But if it dies, then we would have been killed by now. But eventually, we survived. We survived from there because Brian, who's also Mason's best friend, they've been friends since a long time, known as Beast Morpher Gold, and Wilmer was also Dino Charge, the Little Ranger. It's kind of based on, going to whatever, but all original. But yeah, they were shot that they was on gone. I thought they were shot that we going to be killed, that we're not going to make it, but eventually we did survive. But it's teleport us, but we can't. The only thing about it is we cannot contact them. Because, and we could contact each other, but we can't actually contact them because, ever since Zion, who's trying to block us to teleport us, we can't even contact for that, and they don't know what it is, and we were so confused that what world are we in, and we all thought that it's going to be future when we saw on the television, like Star Treks, and forgot the show. I think it's like, I know it's kind of under 1960s science fiction movies too, that we all thought it is going to be it's all thought it's gonna be. We all thought it's gonna be future witches and camaraderie, but I guess we were wrong. So it doesn't happen until the next future. So that is the reason why for that. So yeah, that's how we entered. So hopefully we'll still continue this third one. I'm working on it. So that is the reason why, that is the reason why, it happens. So yeah. I really enjoyed it. I watched it so many times too, the music. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed that it takes me a long time too. I didn't use AI. I mean, I used a certain degrees on it. The first one I used it of the music, and then the rest of them is all band wham, and I use physical of my guitar, this band wham thing, and I want to inspire by the Super Sentai, some of the 60s 1960s soul adventure or something like that from some of the movies, and including the Super Sentai. I don't want to we missed it, but Brain of Vine too. But Whack and Lone too. It's Whack and Lone. I wanted to mix with Whack and Lone too, so that is the reason why. If you guys want to listen to it, please go in there and check out my other channel of Money Heroes Music Production channel. Yeah, it is really crazy. It's really hitting on, and it takes me a lot of longer to get this thing right, edit it right. Yeah, it's very hard, but I try. At least I try as hard as I could. So yeah, it really does hit pretty cool, and I listened it so many times. Too, I can't wait till it turns out for the next songs could be. It depends of my thinking. If I want to inspire by that. What's up? Freddy Conqueston, what's going on, bud? Happy Friday night. Happy Friday days, everybody. Yeah, I went over there with my mom, my older brother, and my aunt and my older brother. We went over there to the buffet restaurant. I was originally want to take that home. Like, if nobody would have said something, I would have eat. But I do love the place, by the way. It's very good. We went to, we went to Flaming Grill in North when I'm at, and yeah, we went over there because my aunt chose, or my mom chose, whatever. And yeah, that was stuff. I think I love eating so much. I had some of them that almost reminds me of from middle school that I used to eat, and they used to have it in school, and Salisbury Middle School. So yeah, North Salisbury. Yeah, it's very good. Dude, what? Yeah, you guys should try Buffet Westminster. It's really pretty good. I mean, framing, Gliv, I think it's the first time I went there because my brother used to work one of these two, the Chinese buffet. My older brother used to work there, and it used to be good before COVID, and it got so a little bit worse. But at least the framing Griff buffet over there, I'm maybe next time I might have to go over there again. Like, it's pretty good. I really love this place, by the way. I do miss Golden Corral, by the way. It's very good. And, last year on my birthday, we went there because it's a podcast, and we went over there. So, yeah. It's very good, but next time I'm going to take it at home. I'm going to go over there and ask my staff members, can we go over there to buffet restaurants? Like, I haven't been going to buffet restaurants since we were youngsters. Well, when I was 3, I used to eat it so many times. I can't stop thinking about it. Like, it's driving me nuts, going there and having experiments. Yeah, so got for that, bud. So that's the parts of what we got for here. The releasing schedule of X-Men Season 2. Releasing of June, July. Oh yeah, that's next month. I did see the first one, and that was really fired. But I don't like the way how this director. I really don't like that. They should have hired a different director instead of this guy. But they should have fired him for that before the production, not after. But I'm glad he did. Episode 8, August 12th, seasons to kick off with 3 more episodes per before shipping to release to the final. Yeah, I love it. I really love it so much, and I love the way they bring back the animated styles back then. I remember back in the day in the '90s. Now they're bringing it back, but the other shows should have done exactly the same thing. Just like what you call it? The He-Man. They also bring it back, from Netflix, and I did see that once. It's actually pretty cool. Um, but yeah, none of the shows should didn't. They should have done that the same style, but recognizable. Same animation style too, kind of digital. They should have done that. X-Men second, X-Men second. Cool. I mean, like I said, the show is actually pretty good. I do love the storylines and how he turns up, but this is really driving me insane. They bring back knowledge back like they used to be. Follow the shocking events of season 1. Yeah, season 1 was great. It does have a little issues, but the Star Wars and the Stardust of this music hits hard, and yeah, it's going to be hitting hard for the fans too. Marvel fans. Yes, right. You may continue the Power Ranger. Thanks, man. But yeah, you miss everything. I was explaining to the audience about this. My first, well, you did see it. I was reviewing of the first one, then the second one. So we was all. I was telling them that the saying that in the audience service that we was all training. You know, back in the '60s. But we're bringing about the flashback of the multiverse for this and that. That we was all Rangers back in the day before 26 later years later before years before Jason, Zig, Zach, Billy, Trini, and yeah, I was bringing about this too that they were heroes, same version of range of them before 26 before them, these two. So that's the reason why that they became them. So, yeah, sorry about it, guys. I know it's really crazy. So yeah, it's really cool, making music. And if you guys don't know how long did I write this script, it took me like months. Well, actually, not months, but I finished like earlier this year. I finished like earlier this year, but this one, when I used my tablet, it took me like a couple of months to get this thing finished. And it's really working so hard for this thing because this thing that I've been using is taking slow and it really adds because I use um Catherine and I edit it to make sure that it doesn't ruin everything. So, but we see guys love it. We see guys like it. Yeah, sorry about it again. This thing keeps answering me up again. Once again, this way keep answering me up again. Like every now and then, this phone keeps doing it, and it keeps answering me up again. It's keep doing it so many times. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He had to forget about his background noises. I was telling him wait with of this computer to introduce it. This um oh boy, yeah, this is getting great. Be right back, guys. Let me get something to put us on it really quick. Um, we'll talk about the last time before I start ending off. I just want to start making a review on that of this too, cause yeah, I was going to show you guys the video of that too. That too. So yeah, this is really crazy. It's um um really crazy. It's What do we got for here? New upgrades. Rumors according to in this one of let's see, according to of Courts of Owl. According to Insidious, the Court of Owls will be the main villain of Batman. Sorry, Batman Part 2. Yeah, I mean, I've seen folders of that too. And a lot of people will start handling that because it's going to be filled. And I've been having friends and I expect their opinion about it. Like I said, I don't know how I feel. All I care about is, the show. Yeah, you have to apologize for that. Maybe turn this thing on. There we go. Yes, and that is all I gotta say. Ooh, do. Yeah, I'm gonna have to be right back, guys. Yeah, sorry about this backlight noise once again. But this movie, sorry guys, apologize for that. Just typing in for one of our friends, introduce for that. Yeah, you guys have to excuse me for that. So yeah. Before we end this off, any of you guys want to answer the questions because of this noise that I can't stand? And again, I want to apologize for that. I'm gonna have to have these people to keep their voice down from now on when I'm doing podcasts. Otherwise, I'm doing. If not, I'll probably see it and just deal with it. oh, oh, yes, I remember this movie, and that was pretty sad. But at least it would be a good ending. But the fans, they wanted. It was so sad that they wanted to end, but the fans, keep pushing it, and they want to go on. They want to keep going. Okay, let me see. Let me just read this off. Spoke toys and toy 22 and the commitments belongs in the trash rather than the toy box, food, phone, and the heart. World trains and filters. Old friends now face important lessons by suppose about suppose. To do voice. Just that. We got another one in trouble here. See. See, any questions on that? Oh, we got another one of our Toy Story off in an interview with Screen Time. Screen Time. And this director Arthur Stinger said Toy Story 3 will be the end of Barney Legacy. Now, I want to point this out about this. Give me a second. Give me just a moment. Of I want to be honest about following the kid's wife, and Annie had a perfect turn. Now, I want to point this out when I want to said. Now, I thought it was going to be the end of the franchise, but we all thought it to it. But apparently, you know, somebody actually cleared this up because I do love Andy a lot more than Barbie, to my honest opinion. Andy loves Toy Story since he was a kid. And he should have kept it. He should have kept it when he had a kid. Perfect traditions. Hopefully, Bowie can do the same. I just really wish Andy would have kept these toys, for my honest opinion, and just had when he had a son who's had a choice when he was a kid, and a kid who is a boy that loves cowboys and Boss Wagner. Yeah, that's the Yeah, I didn't know. I gotta watch it. I gotta watch it tonight. I didn't get a chance to watch it yesterday because I don't on my phone because I don't. I gotta watch it. Get it. Watch it because I think some people hated it, but at least it would make a box office. Then but we don't know. All I know for sure it is for superhero. That's we're gonna have to find that out. But I'm gonna have to let my friends probably know. But the actress, I'm very, very honest about this. What she said. Take a. It's been a. It's been a while. It's been a while. Yeah. Yeah. I gotta see that movie tonight because I know my OBT and Dumb is one of them other murders, and then we'll be pissed about it, and then other will be excited about it. But I'm gonna see it. I'm probably gonna check it out and find out about this. So yeah, I'm gonna find out about this. Want my daughter about this, and yeah, I will have to give the covers to find that out. So yeah, I want to shout out to one of the iconic favorites, Freddy Conquest for I'm doing good. Just But yeah, if you guys really enjoying for that, shout out to him. Please go check it out. Money Heroes ET entertaining it. So yeah, if you guys really enjoying it, please go in there to screen. Let's see if we got any one questions before I leave. And during, I'm gonna have to write a script because I could get this done. I know I'm gonna start rename it. Okay. I want to send it. Am right. Am right. Am right. Yeah, because yesterday, and I want to apologize about this yesterday because of what happened. This dude, yeah, I'm gonna have to talk to one of my friends about this laying on about this. But anyways, We're gonna end this off. I know I gotta go see this movie, and I was totally forgot about it. The Toy Story. I don't feel that people will hate this, but I'm just gonna see how it goes. I mean, if the movie was good and bad, now I might tune in. The same day the movie go, but I just don't like the fact that, yeah, gonna have to stay about that. But if you guys really enjoy about this review of my Power Rangers Honor series book series of the pre-production of Money, it was entertaining. I just you go check it out. I will make it a poster of the Dura one, and then if it does happen, and then I'll probably rename it something else, and hopefully that effects will get a little bit upgraded better than that I usually got. So yeah, shout out to the rest of you guys. The reason why you guys are the greatest because you support my year's content and our community. We always love for this, even though we love doing entertaining for you guys. And yeah, just wanted to, and also happy. And also happy Father's Day, everybody. And I'll catch you guys later on another stream. Also, I'll see you guys next time up at the see you this week up at the podcast. And yeah, I'll catch you guys weighing on and Ranger out. And also, let me introduce him once again. But before I go, and I want to introduce for it, and thank you guys once on my series. Duray will be over there. And again, want to introduce it again for this project. Also, Charles of Mighty Heroes Entertainment and the script writing. Once again, I'm Shamar Wallace. They call me Shamer. Also voiced as Mason Trimmer, who was also a teenager in 1967. Scott's father plays as Dino Fury Green Ranger from Power Rangers Super Legend, The Legend of 5, and The Legend of Mason Trimmer, who also voiced some few of the Rangers of audiobook series. So, if you guys want to join about it, please go in here, watch it, and I advise into it. And if you can compass in your head, you can compass in it. And until then, this is your host, Small Ones. They call me Shamer Power Ranger here. And I'll catch you guys later on in another stream. Ranger out.